You got me? Okay. All right, welcome all to the annual Seabreeze football banquet, celebrating the accomplishments of the 2020 Seabreeze varsity and junior varsity seasons. Thanks to everybody that's attending here tonight and those that are at home watching the live stream. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm John Bunch. I'm the president of the Seabreeze Football Booster Club. Just wanted to take a few minutes at the beginning here to say thanks to some folks. Thank you to our parents for supporting our players, coaches, and program this season, and a year-end season unlike we've ever experienced. Thank you for giving your kids the opportunity to play and experience this game in the season. Thanks to our principal, Joe Rawlings, our athletic director, Brad Montgomery, for their support of our football program. I want to thank our volunteers, those people who gave of their time, talents, and resources to help our program this season, whether it was preparing and serving our players pregame meals, helping with things like parking, Chang Yang, and the golf tournament. Thank you to those volunteers who answered the call when needed. An enormous thank you to our Booster Club officers and directors, whose leadership is always important, but especially crucial this year in the era of COVID. And another very enormous thank you to our coaching staff. Coaches, thanks for your countless hours that you spent over this last year, coaching, developing, and mentoring our kids. Thank you to caring about our kids and pushing them to be better players, students, and people. Our Seabreeze football program continues to head in a very positive direction because of your dedication, work ethic, talent, and care of our kids. So how about a round of applause for the coaching staff? All right, and then finally to our players. When I think about the story of the 2020 season, it was about continuously overcoming adversity. The great football coach Vince Lombardi, I know we got some Packer fans out there, once famously said, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. And time again, this season, this team got knocked down. And time again, this team refused to quit and pick themselves back up. There was almost never a season to begin with, yet many of these players kept working over the summer and the offseason to prepare themselves if there was one. Then the season got pushed back, and the team had to learn to adapt to COVID safety protocols, but the players continued to show up in good numbers, to conditioning, to work and prepare for the season. Then there was the Spruce Creek game. Sand Crabs got knocked down. They trailed 21-0 in the fourth quarter. Then they picked themselves up by scoring 14 points and coming within a missed onside kick opportunity of potentially tying or winning that game. Then there was the opening playoff game. Gulf Breeze knocks these kids down by scoring on the first play of overtime to go up by a touchdown. Seabreeze needs to answer to keep their season alive. And on a play that's going to live in the memories of many people here, the Sand Crabs go for two to win the school's first playoff game since 2009. And you kids will be talking about that game for the rest of your lives, trust me. Then in the final game of the season against Columbia, once again, the kids get knocked down again. Trailing 21-0 late in the third quarter and on the road. The Sand Crabs again pick themselves back up. They close the gap to 21-14 and get the ball back with just under 4 minutes to play with the opportunity to win the game. It just wasn't meant to be on that night, but each time these kids got knocked down, they got back up. And one of the reasons that school invests in sports extracurriculars, guys, is because sports teaches valuable lessons to better prepare kids in life. So hopefully this season taught you to never quit and to keep fighting through adversity. The reality in life, guys, is that life is going to knock you down at times. But it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Another thing I hope this year taught you that in order to get back up, it's easier to do so when you have the support of your teammates. So when you eventually get knocked down in life, guys, don't be afraid to lean on those people that care about you. Your parents, your family, your friends, your former teammates to help you get back up. So someday, hopefully you look back at the season and realize that you learned a lot more than just X's and O's. So congratulations on a great season. I'll turn it over to Coach Brown.
I want to start off first by saying thank you to the parents that bring the kids here every day, making sure that they're here on time, able to participate in all these extracurricular activities, whether it's football, track, wrestling, all these other extracurricular sports. Thank you to the Booster Club for setting activities up like this. Not every program has award ceremonies, banquets, pre-game meal, post-game meal, meals at halftime. So those things definitely should not be taken for granted. Should be thanking them at any moment that we can. And thank you to the players just putting forth the effort and trusting us coaches to bring forth the best out of y'all each and every day. It's not easy, going to school every day, putting forth, 3-hour practices, just 3-hour practices, lifting in the off season, coming here every day in the summer, 4 days a week, 7-on-7 camps from the previous year, and sacrificing your vacation time and things like that. So that does not go unnoticed as far as us coaches. I want to start off by calling up some of these players, and the list of players that I'll be calling up will be guys cumulatively that have over 3.0 GPA. I want to give you guys your flowers while you can still smell them. We talk about student athlete and everybody says student athlete, but this really is what it means to be a student athlete when you maintain a B average over time. We got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors on varsity, and that's a big time accomplishment to have over that 3.0 GPA while playing a sport like football, other sports, weightlifting, track, wrestling, any and all sports, extracurricular activities, going to church, volunteer hours. So when I call your name, just come up here and get lined up. We got Lucas Bockenstedt. We got Blake Boda. Just line up over there. Tristan Brooks. Matt Bassett. Nate Boyd. Colt Brown. Tommy Bunch. Eli Campbell. Mac Chimento. Aiden Ford. BJ Glenn. Mike Jones. JJ Kelly. Chris Lewis. Harold McKay. Kay and Patton. Chad Pezza. Terence Robinson. Stephen Taylor. And Tashad Troutman. And in total, we had 20 players of our roughly 32 to 33, so almost 2/3 of our team was over a 3.0 GPA. Like I said, that's a testament to y'all parents staying on top of them, for our discipline and structure, to hold them to a standard, to be accountable for their schoolwork. So thank y'all. And parents, we'll give y'all a chance to get a picture if y'all want of the boys up here. I know Michelle taking some pictures. So if y'all want to take a quick couple of pictures, y'all go ahead and get those. All right, let's give it up one more time for the boys for that. Thanks, Luke, for sparking it off. All right, my coaches, y'all can head up here. We're going to do the letter winners. Coach Burt, Coach Floyd. He's over. Yeah, so first year, I just got those out. We're going to take it. First year, we're going to hand them out. They're going to take a picture up here. Then we go. Yeah, we got enough of that. It should be only 16. You can just stay right there, get my picture when they come up. All right, so for our first year award winners, you had to play in at least 5 of the 9 games. First year award winners get the big S. All right, so we start off with Lucas Bockenstedt. We got Blake Boulder. Tristan Brooks. Amir Brown. Demetri Campbell. Eli Campbell. Ethan Doherty. Aiden Ford. Tayshawn Gallery. Mike Jones. Zed Martin. Braden Prescott. Terence Robinson. Chris Sarno, a.k.a. Luca, for y'all that don't know. Perry Williams. And Amandre Willis. Oh, damn. Here. Appreciate you. Sneak up behind him and tuck it to him. All right, we're gonna hand out their certificates as well, and then we can grab some pictures, and then move on to the second year winners. Not for the second year. Yeah. Y'all gonna move up? We can move up and grab a picture with
I can put myself on Man, why didn't you leave his ear, bro? Why didn't you leave his ear?
All right, Luke, spark us all. My man. Come up, they get those and they get these bars, the second one. Damn, what I'm gonna call him. Oh, man. All right, next up is our second year award winners. Our second year guys get a gold bar. All right, first up we got Matt Bossett. We got Maddox Bovey. Colt Brown. Tommy Bunch. BJ Glenn. Chris Lewis. Demarco Nelson. Chad Pezza. Trey Phillips. Steven Taylor. Chris Thomas. Yep. Tashad Troutman. And E.J. Williams. Y'all can get up next to him. He's all up. It's everybody. Yeah, get up. We're going to take a picture with him. And these are all of our second-year award winners. We'll get up next. All right, we give it up one more time for them. Mastin, start us off, baby. And lastly, we got our third-year award winners. Starting us off, we got Nate Boyd.
Yeah, how are you?
We got Mac Chimento. Mac made sure I got it right this year. Last year was a blooper. I wasn't here for your first award. We got JJ Kelly. We got Harold McKay. And lastly, we got Kay and Patton. Yeah. Give it up one more time for the boys. Since y'all up there, we're gonna go over the seniors. So who wanna start it off? Going over the seniors. You wanna start it off, Coach Lewis? With the seniors that you got?
My seniors?
Stay right here. Yeah, you say after that.
Tell you what, let me go down and grab my glasses.
You want me to sit down?
No, you gotta hand out the ball. Coach Lynn, start us off, man. Oh, yeah, you gotta go clean up. Coach T, you might as well start it off. Shy, come on, man. You gonna rock out. You know yours right there, man. You got 5 of them. All right. I started off. All right. So right here, we're going to announce our seniors. We got 18 of them this year. So we're going to start off. Each coach going to go by position group, what seniors they had in their position group, and say a few words about each senior and what they meant to us this year. All right, so first off, we got Coach T. He got the biggest group of seniors with the O-line.
This would definitely be a season to remember, just with all what we had to endure and persevere through. And I just want everybody that was a part of this Seabreeze football team this year, you would definitely be remembered. We went through a lot of things that no other program has gone through, so just relish in that moment and appreciate everything. As a coach, even if I continue to coach 10 years from now, I'm definitely going to remember this year. I'm going to remember the freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors, most importantly, the seniors. Like I said, I have the biggest group. It's 5 seniors. As far as with the O-line, that may sound real good, you know, due to unforeseen things like injuries, all 5 of those guys couldn't be on the field at the same time, but I would definitely speak on each one of them. If you haven't heard me say it before, this group was unique to me because each individual senior reminded different pieces of me. Different guys had different things and different character traits that I possess. Ethan Doherty, he only played in approximately maybe like 3 games, but the thing about it, those 3 games he played was all tough opponents. And one of the character traits that he had that I possessed was the fearlessness. Like he wasn't into stars or who this guy was. He's just gonna come out there, he's gonna play football. Oh man, you just knocked over that 3-star athlete. Oh, I don't know, he was just a person in a different color jersey. So that's one of the character traits that Ethan possessed. And once he got healthy, he did some good things. I wish he would have played a little more with the injuries, but things happen like that. Next would be Tristan Brooks. All right, I call him Coach. All right, when he was injured and he wasn't in, I would catch him coaching the younger guys up, giving them insight on different things. He'll even bring it to me, Coach T, isn't he supposed to do this on this? Yes, he is. So I appreciate him for that. He was an extension of the coaching staff when he wasn't in, and that's helping. That's never giving up. That's always staying dialed into what we're doing. And that was me. My senior year, I was the only senior on the offensive line, and I had to be the extension of the coaching staff on that field. Okay. Brooks, come on, Brooks. Clap it up for him. Okay, yeah. Now, whether he have a career in that, I can see him being some type in the sports field, whether it's coaching, whether it's athletic director of some sorts, because he has a passion for the game and he has a passion for teaching, and I appreciate that in him. Next up, we have Chris Thomas. Chris Thomas comes to the stage. I appreciate everything Chris did. Chris had that get her done mentality that I possess. Chris played out of position, was often undersized at the position, but he never complained. When he was there, Chris did everything he was supposed to do. He gave it everything he had. If you touch his jersey was soaking wet for just leaving it all on the field. So Chris gave that leave it all on the field mentality, and that just coming to work with your lunch pail and getting it done. Next up, we have Nathan Boyd. Nathan Boyd was our center. He was also one of our most versatile linemen. He could play all 5 positions. He had that silent assassin mentality that I have. I wasn't a rah-rah guy. I let my play do the talking. Nate, he didn't really do too much yelling, too much huffing and puffing, but he played like a beast and a madman at times. Lastly, I have Caden Patton. Caden showed the most growth this year from a character standpoint and from a player standpoint. He really transitioned into a leader this year. I'm really so proud of the growth that he made. The character trait of mine that I feel like he possessed is the competitiveness. He is very competitive. He refused to let anybody outcompete him, whether it's a teammate or is another opponent. He also stepped up and he showed to be a great leader, and we leaned on him and gave him more responsibility this year. I'm very proud of him. I appreciate all the senior offensive linemen. I appreciate the parents for allowing them to, participate in football this year and be allowed to coach. I'm really going to miss this class. I resonate with each and every one of those individuals, and it is an honor to see yourself in these guys like that. Thank you.
I'm going to be introducing can't see what my name is. EJ. EJ probably the smallest guy on the team with the biggest heart. He ain't scared of nothing. He'll attack anything. EJ just a special guy. EJ. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to call up Demarco. The first time I seen Demarco, I was like, man, what is this man doing? This man, my goodness. But he persevered through everything he had to go through and coming out the best as he can be. Demarco. Give it up for Demarco. And my last one is Harold. Harold is very funny, a great worker, very hard working, dedicated, listens very well. Just a great person. Give it up for Harold.
Somebody like Bob.
All right, I had the privilege of having the linebackers this year, so we're going to start off with Luke Nasty. So Luke, the type of kid, come to work every day, don't know where he's going to be at as far as rotation, but no matter where he's at, he's ready to rock out, whether it's special teams, filling in at linebacker, ready to start at linebacker 1 week, somebody go down, he in the rotation, know where he's going to be at. He's that kid that you can rely on no matter what, oh, man. The teammates love him. They love when he out there. They know when he comes in, it's not going to be no drop off. And just truly value him as a player. As a coach, he's those type of kid that you always want in your position group. All right, Luke Nasty, give it up for him. Next up, we got Perry P. Matt. AKA Old Man Perry. He was on a pitch count from week to week as far as practices. JJ was sure to be on top of him, like, you ain't practicing today. But no matter what, as far as being that guy that's you got to tell to not work out that day. You never had to worry about him sitting out due to not wanting to play or practice. Like I said, he's a kid that'll overwork, and you got to throttle him down in practice. But bringing out that energy as far as offense, going against the offense, calling out every play that the offense about to run, knowing all the signals, and was just like that on game day. Being a leader out there, like I said, one of the hardest workers. Known him since Pop Warner, and completely different kid since Pop Warner, just so y'all know. Lastly, we got J.J. Kelly. Also known as the perfectionist. JJ going to ask you 30,000 questions before game day. And it's always, but coach, I got to make sure I get it right. He another coach out there on the field, know the game plan front and back. Like that. Oh, man. The whole linebacker group was a tight-knit brother group right there. All relied on one another. All upperclassmen except for Taylor. But just seeing his maturation from last year when I told him that he was going to be going to linebacker and running head up in those drills every day with JR, ready to quit one day, to coming back 35 pounds heavier. We don't know how he got to 35 pounds, but we're going to leave that out there. You know what I mean? But 200-pound grown man now, coming in there, and you saw the difference on the field with how he played this year and really being a leader out there and narrowing down his choice as far as going on to college. J.J. Kelly. Can't forget JJ, second string punt returner.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Okay, here we go. Varsity Awards. Coach, coming from.
You got Matt Bostic, you got T-Brown in here, where you can still speak some things about him.
T-Rock, Bostic. You want me to get trigger? All right. Trey, come here. Trey Thomas is, Trey Phillips, I'm sorry. I don't do this often. I look forward probably to working with Trey more than anybody this year because as an athlete, there's nobody on our squad with more athletic ability. He's a big play guy. A lot of times this year we were not able to get him the ball, but still he commanded a lot of coverages that allowed other receivers to get open. He's a tireless worker. He will do anything you ask him to do. He is always there for you to support you as a coach, which is very important because these guys, he worked with a lot of underclassmen this year, was willing to work with freshmen on the JV squad, and was perhaps the best leader that we had in our squad. I'm so proud of him, and I know he's going to do great things at the next level. Ladies and gentlemen. Terence Robinson. He's just going to. All right. The best long snapper in Central Florida led this team in catches, receiving yards, and touchdowns. He statistically dominated a team that was supposed to be full of speedsters. Our most valuable receiver was our slowest guy. But he came, I don't say that as a slight to him, because he's also one of the hardest working individuals it's ever been my pleasure to coach. Matt also had to deal with a near tragedy in the middle of our football season. He had to be there for his family, and he also had to be there for us. I love him a lot. Just because of that, he's got a big heart. And whatever he does at the next level, I know he'll excel just as well. And I'm sorry to be emotional about it, but he's a special kid. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Bostic.
I'm gonna finish up with the last four guys for tonight. I'm gonna start with the DNs, which is Colt Brown. He's the definition of a dog. That guy He's a tremendous athlete. His motor never stops. There were times in practice where we had to actually have him calm down just so we can get the plays off. It's going to hurt losing him, but he will go through a wall for you. Give it up for Colt Brown. Next, I have the other DN. He's undersized for his position, but he's one of the quickest guys on the defensive line. I remember when I arrived 2 years ago, he arrived also, and he's quiet, never a problem, but when you see him on the field, he's a whole nother person. It's gonna hurt losing him too. Give it up for Chad Pisa. Next is one of our running backs. He brings so much life to the team. No matter the day of the practice, no matter when it's game time, he's still the same guy consistently. Great teammate, always ready when his number's called. And from the very first play of this season, he ran it back almost 75 yards and made it to the 1 yard line. Great guy, Zed Martin. When I talk about this guy, coming from New Jersey and making it to Florida, that's a major transition for a teenager in his senior year. But every obstacle, every problem that was thrown his way, he adjusted to it. Him never playing the actual running back position. He got better every week, and it showed the closer we got to the playoffs. Tremendous athlete. Look for big things from him in his college future. Amir Brown. all the seniors please come up?
Yeah, I'll give it up for our seniors one more time. 18 of them, one of the biggest senior classes in recent Seabreeze history. All right, we're going to bring it on home with some of the awards that we have tonight, what I know most of the people here was waiting on. We start off with the 2 awards from the mainland game. The first one to Jim Curtin is the defensive MVP on each team. So none other than Colt Brown, who had 4 sacks, 12 tackles, 6 TFLs that game, and was dominant all night. No. You can stay over there because then you're going to get... The next one is the offensive MVP, called the Tommy Touchdown Durant Award. Goes to Amir Brown. Had a couple big runs that game, a couple big kickoff returns, and about 2 shoelace tackles away from breaking one for 95 yards. All right, cool. Y'all take one together. So those are the No, I got it. I'm saying what they're going to do. We got a special visitor that's going to be handing out this award, Sergeant Matthews from the Marines. He's going to detail what this award represents. But we're honored to have him in here and being able to present this award.
How's everyone doing tonight? You guys all ready to graduate? Awesome. Well, I'd like to start off by thanking the faculty and staff for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. I know I'm new to the area, but I look forward to getting to talk to all of you. In the Marine Corps, we live by a set of values. 3 things that governs all of our actions: honor, courage, and commitment. And the individual that I'm recognizing tonight has displayed those values throughout the season. So without further ado, the United States Marine Corps takes great pleasure in presenting the Distinguished Athlete Award to Harold McKay for displaying courage, poise, self-confidence, and leadership as a high school athlete. given under my hand March 1st, 2021. Signed, Robert B. Neller, Commandant, United States Marine Corps.
Appreciate it, Sergeant. Next guest we're gonna have up is Coach Kramer. And he'll go into detail about the David Mastin Award.
First of all, I would like to, for those of you that are not familiar with the David Mastin Award, David was a player that played here going on 30 years ago that was paralyzed on the field. Those of you that have been here before, last year David was here. I can't do nearly and make the impact that David would if he was here tonight, but David has been very special to a lot of us in the program for a lot of years. This award is not about the fact that David got hurt. The award is about the character and the strength and the ability to overcome adversity and all the things that as a father, as a coach, that you would love for your son or your daughter to be able to inherit. And David is a walking example of what it is to be dealt not a very good hand and still find a way to be positive about it. I have been around him since the injury, and I've never heard David ever say, ever, why did this have to happen to me? He has always approached it with a positive attitude, and I'm sure he has some of those days, but I went to see him early during the procedure, and with hopes that when I got there that we would be able to help him, and I walked out of the room feeling like David had helped me because of the way he inspires. And I think that there's going to be a lot of awards handed out tonight, and I know I'm pretty protective of this one because David means so much to me. And also as a parent, I had the privilege of having one of my sons win this award. And it's a great honor tonight for me to present it to you. And on the behalf of David, and David, I expect for David to be back next year. But for tonight, I'm going to present this in his name to Demarco Nelson.
And Demarco, a real private individual, and I ain't gonna go into too much detail, but he a young man that had some adversity had to deal with as far as helping step up in his family, commuting to Jacksonville with one of his family members on a weekly basis and still making it down to practice, multiple times throughout the week, still shouldering that throughout the season. So give it up one more time for Demarco Nelson.
The first award I want to give out is the J.R. Tire Award. It's about a guy who deals with adversity and struggles off the field, but comes to work every day with a smile on his face, willing to do whatever it is needed to be done. And that is Zed Martin.
The second award we would like to give out is the Leadership Award. I mean, it pretty much says what it is itself. It's the person that embodied leadership, encouraging your teammates, leading by example, picking everybody up when it might not be going as good as we wanted to go at that time. Everybody know who that should be, and that's J.J. Kelly.
Next award is the Junkyard Dog. That's somebody that comes with the Junkyard Dog mentality. Anybody comes in their territory and in their space, they just ready to chop their head off and give us everything that we ask for plus more. Instead of 100%, they give us 110%, whether they on the field or whether they off the field. Whether they're on the opposite side of the ball or not, they still giving everybody hype and putting their all into it. Like, this person provides a total buy-in of Seabreeze football. And I'm not even sure this person won it during the year, because we would do it weekly at certain times, but I know this person did. Sometimes when I come to practice, if I feel like maybe the offense is not hype, I'll try to get them hype, pick somebody out on defense. And it was always somebody on defense, always barking back at me. That person is Perry Williams, Junkyard Dog. JJ barked back at me somewhat too, but he got the leadership award. Good job.
Okay, here we go. Our special teams play this year was outstanding. Chris Lewis comes to mind, the Campbell brothers, Eli and Dimitri, Max Cimento, probably the best punter in all of Central Florida. None of these guys won this award. And I'm very proud, again, to say the best long snapper in Central Florida won this award, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Bossett. These guys, okay, go see Coach.
All right, this next award is the Defensive MVP award. I coached this guy. He was at my position every day, every single day. He had 1,000 questions for me. Coach, why I gotta do this? Coach, what is that for? Coach, can we do this? Yes, we can. All right. So he pushed everybody to be great. And at first, honestly, I was skeptical. Then that first game we had, he showed up. He led the team in interceptions, and no other, Dimitri.
So I had an offensive MVP. Let me give you a story about the offensive MVP. He's a quiet guy. I'm a quiet guy. So our conversation is very short. I used to have long rides with him, about 30 minutes every night. We would say nothing to each other. I was like, this guy right here, we get along great, man. I say, Mir, what kind of music you listen to? Give me some people. One night riding down International, heading to Deltona, I said, Mir, you hear that? He said, what? I said, that car accident. I said, we need to get out and check on them. He didn't say a word. We get out the car is in the ditch, and the guy was already out the car. I said, man, you know what, when you're driving, man, you gotta pay attention for other drivers, because it's just so dangerous out here. He didn't say nothing. But when it came to football and learning, he soaked up everything like a sponge. And it just showed, like I said, his progression through each game, how he just became unstoppable. So I'm proud to say the offensive MVP is Amir Brown. I'm gonna go ahead and rat you out too, man. On the way to the mainland game, Amir forgot his cleats, man. It's okay, not because Coach Brown can't do nothing about it. You all right?
For our team MVP, this is a young man who, after about the third or fourth game, you could tell when we went into each week that teams was game planning around him, trying to figure out, should we run away from him? Should we run to him? Certain weeks they just like, all right, well, we just gonna let him run in because we can't block him and just try to trap him. He won FACA 6A District 9 Player of the Year, had 90 tackles, 26 TFLs, 12 sacks, forced fumble. But as far as his impact on the game, those stats mean nothing to the motor that he played with day in and day out. Like Coach Lynn had said earlier, in practice, there was times where had to turn it down a notch because he was bringing it. And, when him and Patton would go at it, Patton went back down, he went back down, so it was like two pit bulls getting in a dog fight. And, we had to break it up, and then 3 or 4 plays later, they back at it. So sometimes we had to cut periods short just because the energy and the passion that they played with when they stepped on the field. And, you don't see somebody like that often that could play with that level throughout a 3-hour game. Also, how he impacted his team on special teams and even, offense. Even though, every week he talked about get him the ball, get him the ball, get him the ball. He did a great job in those beast packages and the ace packages, doing whatever he needed to do, clearing it out. And without further ado, our team MVP, Colt Brown. And as he's taking a picture up here, can everybody that got an award come up so we get a group photo of all of y'all with y'all awards? We can step up with him if y'all want.
It's front of your shirt, man. The right side. Look at this. There you go.
And to wrap it up, just to speak about this senior group, like I said, 18 seniors, more than half of our varsity roster. As a head coach, you love to have older guys, 17, 18 years old, out on the field, obviously, for the physical reasons, more physically more developed, typically more mature, naturally more in leadership positions. But one of the biggest things that stood out to us in this situation that we in still, as far as the pandemic, as these young men organize, activities on their own, continue to work out, continue to prepare for this moment while other states were not playing sports. And when we got that news, July, that we was going to be moving forward with the season, those guys continue to push and continue to work. In August, when it was time to roll around, guys from day one putting themselves in the best position to be successful on the field, right? Bringing that high energy every day in practice and understanding that it could be taken away at any point. And that's a lot of stress to have as a young, teenager, not knowing when your season can end. It can end tomorrow, COVID protocols, kids going out, left and right, and there's nothing that you can do at times. If somebody in your class next to you tested positive or was around somebody, and now you're out 2 weeks at minimum, and not knowing if during those 2 weeks the season was going to end, And for these young men to go through that, and still come out on top every day, adversity throughout the year, some of the highlights, some of the lows of the season, and continue to push forward and go down in the record books for some of the great things that they did. Just for me as a coach, I'm going to always remember that. Our coaching staff and the players know that they're going to remember that as well. Pushing through, we got a couple guys signed currently right now, with Amir, Perry, Harold. We got a slew of other guys, at least 4 or 5 that's going to be signing real soon, like, Colt, Bassett, JJ, who else we got? Caden, Ethan's, Boyd's, so we got guys that's continuing to push forward, continue to handle their stuff on and off the field. That's going to put them in the best situation to move forward and being able to get out of, Daytona, Ormond area and just experience other things. And that's what I'm most happy about with this unit right here. So, Coach, you got anything? All right. So if anybody want to get any more pictures up here, Coach, Mr. Montgomery or Mr. Rollins, did y'all have anything y'all wanted to say?
Sure.
Oh, what is it?
People hurry.
You know, I think Coach kind of hit on a lot of things, but in a year of challenges, unlike any other, the perseverance and like Coach said, your ability to keep your eye on the prize, to continue to work, even though there was uncertainty in front of you, that's life. I mean, your parents will tell you that. You never know what's going to be around the corner. You never know what's going to happen next, but you've always got to continue to persevere, work hard towards that goal, whatever goal that you have set, regardless of what obstacles come your way, because in life, obstacles are going to come your way every day. And I know that we made a Vince Lombardi reference earlier, and I think he knows I'm a big-time Packer fan, and like he says, people get knocked down every day in their life. It happens to the best of us, but it doesn't mean a thing. The only thing that matters is that you get up. And this year, you guys prove that you can do that, and that'll make you successful later on in life. We're so proud of you and thankful to the coaching staff and Coach Brown, because I know he got tired of me saying, we got to be careful. We got to do this. We got to do that because we want to get through the season, because that was our number one goal, was, as Coach referenced, a lot of places, a lot of schools around the country still aren't even open. And while, yes, I know some of our senior kids are not getting some of the experiences that past senior classes have gotten, in one way to look at it, you've gotten a lot more than what a lot of kids have gotten around the country. So enjoy what you've had this year and what still we've got left to go this year. And thank you to all the adults and the parents and everything that you guys did to help us out too. Because I will say this is a Seabreeze community. Even though we had a lot of impact this year with COVID, kids getting, things happening where they had to be out for a couple weeks, etc., it really impacted us less sports-wise than a lot of schools, because a lot of our parents were proactive. A lot of our parents, when they saw kids maybe had symptoms or something going on, they kept them home, and that helped keep all of you guys on the field. So thank you to our community as well, and you guys, we're so proud of you. You had a great season. This is my 6th year at Seabreeze High School. We've had our ups and downs with our football program, but I truly believe we've got the right man in charge, and the right man in charge is going to make great things happen.
Yes, sir.
And I'll never forget when we went through the interview process. I think Pat was one of the first people we interviewed. And we interviewed a lot of great candidates. Brad brought forth, Brad did his work, and we had some really, really top-notch candidates. But at the end of the day, all the people that were in the interview room, it was unanimous. And we knew that we had the right man to take this program forward. So thank you for all you've done, Coach. And I also want to thank you for recognizing our scholar athletes too, because that's important. And for those of you that know me, I'm old school. I believe in doing things the right way, and I think we've got the group of people here that we're not only going to continue winning and continue building, but we're going to continue doing things the right way, and that's going to help these young men be successful later on in life, more than whatever they will do on a football field. So thank you guys very much.
All right, so y'all know me with time when it comes to events as far as running over. We ended before 9 o'clock, so y'all can come up here, take pictures with y'all family members and everything, do what y'all need to do. But thank y'all for coming out, appreciate it. Appreciate the Booster Club for this successful event. Coach, yeah, I'm about to go back there in here.
Don't worry, don't fret. All the rising from us at night. We went to a bad life. Of the clouds that summer. We went to a bad life. Of the clouds that summer.